but my mic for some reason does not work when I'm on live. So I hope you can hear me well. I hope my sound is okay. I really prefer to do this mic, but it's just not working. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But if you are new here, I'm Shantae, and I am a wellness strategist, and I share my journey with fibroids. I share wellness strategies, wellness tips to help women with fibroids and other conditions that might be negatively impacting their health as well as their quality of life. So, if you need some assistance with that, you are in the right place. I have tons of videos to help, and also I have a ebook for fibroid strategies or strategies that I use to help with fibroids. I also have a meal plan for you, or you can even book a call with me. And so I'll put the link to all that stuff in this video, or when I post this video. I'll put the link to all that stuff below so that you guys can check that out. And so if you are on my email list, you knew about this live days ago. Thank you for being here. And I'll also drop the link to my email list too so that you guys can sign up and subscribe there. But today I am sharing 5 practical tips to help you get started on your fibroid healing journey and to deal with fibroids. Now, this is for anybody who is newly diagnosed, or maybe you suspect that you have fibroids and you are just waiting to get confirmation from your doctor. You've already started the process for that. Or maybe you were diagnosed with fibroids, but you didn't really follow up and do anything. This is going to be a good video for you. And I think you're going to be kind of surprised that I share here because they're probably going to be a little bit different. But again, this video is really about helping you get started and helping you take actions that are simple enough to do, and small enough to do, but just really are going to put you on the journey or put you on the path that you need to be on. So I'm going to get started with these 5 tips, and feel free to drop your questions in the chat. If I have if I have time at the end of this, because I got started a little bit later than I wanted to, but if I have time at the end of this, I will answer your questions from the chat. If not, I'm going to be going live all week, 4 p.m. Central Time, every day, Monday through Friday this week. So if I don't answer your question in this video, I'll probably get to it in another video, or I might just be doing a whole nother video that completely answers your question. So drop those in the chat. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. And this is 5 practical tips to deal with fibroids. So my first tip is that I want you to start tracking your cycle. I don't care if you have a regular cycle, if you have an irregular cycle, I don't care. I want you to start tracking it. And the reason for this is because when you are more aware of your cycle, it's going to help give you some clues and some hints about what's actually going on with your body. And there are a lot of other benefits to tracking your cycle that actually impact your daily life and how you go about your daily life. And I'll probably do a whole nother video about cycle syncing and some of the ways that that can be helpful for you, but I really want to stay on task in this video, so we're going to stick to its relevance to fibroids. And the reason why you want to start tracking your cycle, if you haven't already and you have fibroids, is because most women only notice symptoms around their period, right? So when you start talking about fibroid symptoms, a lot of times we discuss the more overt symptoms that we have close to our period or during our period. But if you actually track your cycle, you might notice that you are having symptoms all month long. And it might even be really subtle. But when I say track your cycle, I mean more than just track when you start your period and when you ovulate. I want you tracking the entire thing. And that means even adding symptoms that you are experiencing during that time, even if it's like a weird thing that you don't think is related to your cycle, make sure you're tracking that. And I think I even have a cyclical living planner. I think I still have it up on my site. If I do, I'll put that in the description as well. And that's a good place to start. And it gives you more room to track your all of your symptoms and not just when your period starts, when your period ends. I want you tracking the whole thing. My second tip is going to be to write down all of your stressors. Now, you are probably wondering, what does that have to do with having fibroids and having painful periods? But stress is one of the biggest things that can impact fibroid. Really, any kind of hormone related condition, even digestive issues, stress can be a big factor in that. And as women, we tend to deal with a lot of ongoing stress. And a lot of stress that a lot of times we don't feel like there's resolution to. And so I want you to start being more aware of this. If you are having any kind of hormonal issues or fibroids or PCOS, or anything like that, I want you to start being more aware of your stressors. And so that's why I want you to make a list. And I would even say get a journal. You can have, if you're not a journaler, I'm not a huge journaler. I call myself an intermittent journaler because I go through phases where I'm journaling a lot, and then I kind of fall off for a couple months. So I want you to start journaling, and I want you to actually journal specifically about your stress. I want you to make a list of everything in your life that you feel like is a point of stress for you. And when you do this, you're going to start becoming more aware, because you probably actually have more things that are stressing you than you realize. But after you've made this list, I want you to spend some time, and it might take you a couple weeks to go through this list depending on what your pile of stress is. But I'm going to give you two journal prompts that I want you to work through or write through for each of your points of stress. So the first prompt is going to be, what practical thing or things can I do to change this? Now, this one might be kind of hard, especially because sometimes there are things that are maybe just a part of the season that we're in, or maybe there are things that there is nothing physically or outwardly that we can do to change our stress, but maybe your solution is more inward. There's something that you need to do inwardly to change that stress, or a different mindset that you need to take. And so I want you to journal about that. The second thing that I want you to journal, or question that I want you to ask, is, what would my life look like if I did not have this particular stressor in it? And I like to do this because it's kind of like visioning, I'm really big on creating a vision for yourself. And so this prompt helps you to see yourself on the other side of this thing, because sometimes our stressors are prolonged because we can't really see ourselves on the other side. We get hopeless about it and we're not working towards it. And again, stress is one of the most important or biggest things when you are trying to have better health. And I go into a lot of detail about this in my ebook, and it's actually one of the first things that I talk about addressing in my fibroid management ebook. The next thing I want you to do is start tracking your food. Now, if you are someone who deals with eating issues or disordered eating, you can skip this part. This is not for you. And if that is you and you feel like you need some help with that, I would recommend seeing a licensed therapist who specializes in that, and also dealing with a nutritionist or dietitian who specializes in that issue. But if if you fall into that category, this part is not going to be for you, and so I want you to skip through this. And now I'll probably talk about this for 2 minutes just to give you, a way to skip through this section. But the first thing I want you to do is to start tracking your food. And notice that I'm not actually telling you to really change anything here. I want you to start tracking your food so that you can become aware. Now, you don't have to get extravagant with this. You can do pen and paper. You can, like, you don't have to go spend money on an app. I think what's the app that I like to use? My Fitness Pal. That's free. They have a free version. But the goal here is not even really calorie tracking per se. It's not macro tracking per se. It's really so that you can be more mindful about what you're eating and how you are consuming. I actually, starting out, would prefer you to do pen and paper just so that also you can take some other notes. Some things that you can look out for is when I ate this way, I was stressed, or I stayed really on track with eating well, and I felt it's because I felt good. So, some things that you can also track along with your food is how you felt when you were eating this thing, or what prompted you to make the decision to eat whatever it is you ate, whether you deem it good or bad. That's going to help you gather more information. And if you haven't noticed here, I always like to start with gathering information because that's going to help you be more um, intentional. It's going to help you be more intentional, and it's going to help you make better decisions for yourself. It's going to help you to really hone in on what's going to be best for you and your health. Now, the next thing on my list is that I want you to address any vitamin deficiencies or mineral deficiencies. And some of that is going to depend on, well, actually, all of it is going to depend on you going and having a regular checkup. So, if that is not something that you do or you haven't done in a while, go ahead and have your annual physical or even your well women's visit. Go do that so that you can get any kind of, if you have any deficiencies, you can have your blood work drawn and they can detect that earlier so that you can deal with those things through the proper diet changes or proper supplementation. Now, I do recommend, if you can, I really recommend getting a full workup. Now, I know that depending on what your insurance looks like, this can be very costly for a lot of people, but in my opinion, it's totally worth it so you can have a better picture of what's going on. And I'm not really a person that believes in over supplementing. Even though I actually probably take quite a few supplements myself, I only believe in taking what is necessary for you and your body. And this is where going to get that blood work done can help you deal with that or figure out that foundational supplementation that you probably need. So always make sure you're consulting with your doctor. You actually know what is going on with you before you just go out and buy supplements. Now, my last tip is to download the EWG's Healthy Living app. And I probably mention this app a lot, but I promise you they are not sponsoring me. They do not pay me anything. I'm not affiliated with the environmental working group in any kind of way, but I just love this app and I do use it all the time. And I recommend downloading this app because it has a feature in it where when you're in the store and you are, whether you're buying food, whether you're buying personal care products, home cleaning products, whatever it is, you can actually scan those items to see what the EWG's rating is. And if you're not familiar with the Environmental Working Group and their Healthy Living app, the Environmental Working Group is an organization that their whole purpose or mission is to help us make better and more informed choices about the products that we are consuming. And so I enjoy the app. I find it to be super helpful. I use it to this very day. It is on my phone. I'm never in the store without it. And especially if you are new to trying to reduce the toxins in your household, this app is going to be super helpful for you. Now, I will say their rating system is not perfect, but it is helpful, especially for someone who is a beginner. And I mean, it's honestly helpful for anybody, but especially if you are a beginner in reducing the toxins in your environment, in your home, that you're using in your skincare, this app is going to really be helpful for that and helping you make better choices. Now, I'm not telling you to go and throw away all your stuff just yet. And I have several videos about switching to clean beauty, about, I don't think I've done one about using better household products or anything like that on here, but I have talked about clean beauty. I do have a blog where I have several blog posts about clean beauty and non-toxic living and all of that. So you can search my blog for that info. But if you are just starting out, this is going to help you start switching your things out slowly, and it's going to help you make better decisions when you are in the grocery store or even in your makeup store or wherever you shop for a lot of your goods. This app is going to help with that. And I do want to mention there's another app called, I think it's called Yuka or Yuka. I don't use that app, but I've heard several people say that's a good one too. I can't really speak to that. If you have tried that app before, let us know in the chat or leave it in the comments and tell us what you think about it. But I haven't tried that one, but I have heard that that one is good too. Okay, guys, I think I have gotten through all my notes. I want to make sure I mention everything. And let me check and see, because I think I saw like a comment. Oh, thank you, Nisha. And thank you so much for watching and being here. Okay, so I didn't have any questions in the chat. But I'm gonna post this video as soon as it uploads or whatever it has to do, process or whatever it does on YouTube. I'm gonna upload this video as soon as possible. So if you miss part of it, it'll be there. Also, you can leave me questions in the chat because not in the chat, in the comments, because maybe I'll cover that tomorrow. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time. I will talk to you later. Bye.